Hey everyone, I am Maury Curtis Dunbar with Painted Studio. I am today's guest retailer for Artistic Painting Studio, meaning that I carry a whole lot of Artistic Painting Studio products. As a matter of fact, if I move these other jugs out of the way that I shoved in, you can see our wonderful supply of all these goodies. So today, I kind of had no idea where I was going with today. I woke up this morning and I had one idea, then I had another, and then I had about 15 more. Thought I was settled on it, and then I had a wonderful Facebook message from another retailer whose name is Renee Holder, and she showed me this wonderful portrait that she had done of her dad in a silhouette in foil on a shirt, and I finally, a light went off. I had a great idea, so we're going to see how great my idea was. So thank you, Renee, for sharing your idea with me. I am not in any way trying to copy her. I was inspired by her. So we are going to be inspired today by Renee's portrait, and we're going to do some stuff ourselves. So I'm going to flip the camera down, and we're going to get right into things. So I have taken a polystyrene sample board. Let's see if I can get this camera angled so that you can see what I'm doing better. Of course, it doesn't want to do that. Sorry, my tripod is being stubborn. All right, let's see. Maybe I need to shove you back a little bit. I think that's what it was. All right, so I have a piece of polystyrene board right here. It has been primed. I think this is Set Coat, Faux-Effect Set Coat Royal Taupe. I think that's what it is. Honest to God, I don't remember. I primed this board years ago, threw it in a stack, so I always had a brown board if I needed one. And my boards normally are twice this size. I cut it in half so that we can do two different projects and work on it and see how it goes. So I put that on there, and then we rolled a coat of the Artsyville foil adhesive and let it tack up for an hour. It's usually ready in a little less than an hour, but you want it to get a good firm tack. I want to be able to do this and have it pick up, but not have it do that and then leave gooey stuff on my hands. My hands are dry now, so I want to have it hard enough so that it's a good firm tack, but I don't want it gooey. We usually recommend a half an hour, but people were kind of fudging on the half hour idea, so we say an hour. Or in my case, well, it was an hour, so I don't have any excuse. It was an hour. So what we're going to do here, though, is something that I haven't done before. So this is going to either be an absolute success or an absolute failure. We are going to do a multi-layered stencil with foil on our boards. This is one I bought years and years ago. Again, I have a lot of stuff that I kind of buy and then it goes and sits in a corner until I need it for something. And I can honestly say this is a Helen Morris stencil from Stencil Library. I bought it at an IDAL convention longer ago than I care to admit. And it has, let's see, how many layers are we? With 3 or 4 here? 1, let's see, 2, 3 layers. Oh, Linda, nice to see you here. Thank you. So stencils are normally done 1, 2, 3, and you can see these are numbered. You can see, let's see if I can get them so you can see that they're numbered. Right here in the corners, you can see that they're numbered. And those are the order that you put them in. Well, if we're gonna do this, we actually need to do it in reverse, because what this does is layer number 1 blocks in a background color. Then a bigger layer of color happens in layer 2, and then the details in layer 3. Well, to make this work in foil, we actually have to work in reverse. So what I'm gonna do is put this down. This is the first layer. And you can see it's a face and part of the arm and some detailing on the outfit. I have literally got 32 foils in front of me. So I'm gonna be picking, we're gonna be playing, I'm gonna try to paint this a little bit. And we're gonna be working differently than I've ever worked with foils. And this is either gonna be really awesome or it's gonna be a complete disaster. So hopefully we all learn well together. I have a little bit of this red glitter foil. I got a sample of it. And I really do need just that tiny bit. And I'm gonna be working, because we're working in small spaces, I have scrub brushes, stencil brushes, toothbrushes, and we're gonna work in small spaces. So the first thing I kind of want to do is see if I can get in, I want to do this in red and I want to do the mouth in red. So let's see if I can get that placed without doing any facial features. It might take a little work. Okay, I'm going to take that and I'm going to use my stencil brush to rub it into the stencil there. And I might take my littler one, which actually is stiffer. Now really, if I was doing this for a job or a client, or on something, I'd have planned really carefully where I'm going to do this. The stencil is from Stencil Library. It's a Helen Morris stencil, and I think it's called the Singer Microphone LA is what it's called. And you see, our adhesive is so good that even with just this little bit of pressure, and I'm going in with the end just to get into corners, I've got a nice release right there. So I'm going to take this then and put it over the details. I'm going to take my toothbrush and scrub in a little bit there, and then I'm going to feel with my finger and get into this. And I just need to feel where the pattern is so I can see if I'm getting any release. And it's very hard for you all to see even if I zoom. Hi, Maddie. Hey, everybody. Oh, Linda, you've never seen it done this way before? Well, this foil is something I use a lot for a lot of things. I mean, if there's going to be glitter, I'm going to use glitter. If there's going to be foil, I'm going to use foil. It's high impact and really, really easy use. Okay, so I'm going in with the end of my brush to get into these little details. Why? Because none of the bristles are going in firm enough to get that, but that's not a big deal. I just got to keep track. And if I was painting with a brush, I'd have to take my time and do that too. So let me just go in here, work my details a little bit with the ends of my brushes. And before anybody asks where I got these little tiny stencil brushes from, these are Lowell Cornell's. I bought them, oh Lord, 21 years ago at my very first IDOL convention in Valley Forge, Pennsylvania. And let me tell you, I take care of my brushes and that's why they last. I'm a big believer, if you spent some money for it, take care of it. There's no need to replace things you don't have to replace. If you take care of your tools, they last you a long time. Now, mind you, I don't use these brushes every day, although I have been using them more lately. So they don't get, completely worn down like some of them do. Let's get in here. I'm feeling for the holes to rub the foil into. And let's see, oh, I don't want that there. And I think I've got most of those holes done. And that just, again, it takes a little time. Now what this is part of the hand, this is part of the arm, and obviously we have the rest of the face. So I'm going to grab a little bit, let's do a little rose gold for the back of the arm here. It'll be like, it'll almost be like a golden shadow. So we'll do that. And we're gonna hope that I don't totally screw this up and it looks uniform when I'm done. Because I really don't know. You're learning with me on this one, folks. So this is our rose gold foil, which is gorgeous. Rose gold. I don't know how well these colors are reading on the video. I do so much color adjustment and editing when I bring things onto my website and stuff. I have no idea how it reads on the videos a lot of the time though. Maybe challenging. There we go. I got to feel for the holes, and then I go in and I do a little scrub, and I know there's holes right there, so I may have to go in with my fingers or the end of a brush. So I'm going in there like that, and like I said, these are all, And this is also my very first time using the stencil, so I am aware that I could really screw this up. But if I screw it up, I screw it up. All right, there's a little bit of mist right there. And we've got that down. And then I think for the facial features, I need a deeper color just so it'll read. And let's see, what have I got here? I have another sample of something called Halo Black Rain. So that's what we're gonna use. Of course, it would have helped if I opened these before I turned on the camera, but that's not what I did. And if I'm missing questions, because I don't have my iPad open right this very second to read your questions, I will go back through all of this at the end and answer questions in written form, so don't think I'm forgetting you. I just take this little tiny piece, and again, you can see the area I'm working in is so small. I don't need a whole lot of foil. This would be a fun project to do with every little leftover scrap, or when I ship stuff out, people get scraps in their shipments. This would be a fun project to do with that. So let's see how I got. Oh, I did pretty well. Most of that got in there. I just need to get into a few of these little spots over here. Let's see where we go. There we go. That doesn't want to get in there. See if I got a pointier tip on something here. I probably do right there. Because I've been doing this for a long time, getting all of these, trying to get all the design patterns into little crevices. And since these are details on the face, you don't want to miss them. Otherwise the face will look very flat when we go for our next one. Now the challenge is going to be putting the next layer over, simply because usually you have other shapes and references to use, but we've created, or since we're doing this backwards, I should say, that makes it a little harder. I need a little bit of, excuse me, a little bit of a pointy tip right in here. Let's see if I can get that in. I think I got almost all of that. Got that little under eye crease to get there. Let's see if I got, it looks like I got all of it. That one little frown line right there does not want to be part of the party. And let's go in there with the tips. And you see, I get really creative in ways to get foils to release, because not every tool suits every job. Okay, so now here's the question, is how do I move my piece around? And normally we might have a bigger registration mark right up in here, and we don't have one here. There's a little tiny one and a little tiny one here. So this might be a little harder. We've got a little registration mark there, so I'm gonna take this red foil that I used before, if I can find it. Here we go. I got one registration mark here and one registration mark here, and then the number 3. 3 is not gonna help me, but these little diamonds are. And what registration marks are, when you don't have a pattern that has an easy movement to repeat things. Sorry, I feel like I'm really zoomed in. There we go, get you back out. Registration marks are the little marks that are punctured into a stencil, like right here and right here on this one, so that when you move your stencil, you have a way of knowing if you're lining it up correctly. And that's a big deal. I'm sure you've tried to move a stencil and you're like, why didn't that line up? And see, I kind of screwed that up by just getting that up too high on there. So the stencil manufacturers create ways so that your stencil is always lined up correctly. And so that's what registration marks do. So if I put a little tiny foil, and if I didn't put foil adhesive all over the surface, I would just put a little piece of tape under here and mark it with a pen, and then pull it up when I'm done, but I actually have foil adhesive all over everything, so if I put tape on here, it will never come off. All right, so here's our face, and that doesn't look like a whole lot of much on there, see? And there we go. Doesn't look like a whole lot of much, but I have my registration mark here, and I have one here, and I can put the next layer on. Why is this wanting to be zoomed in? My camera seems to be wanting to zoom in on its own. Okay, so here is layer 2, and I gotta line up that dot up here. And this isn't easy because these little dots are tiny, so this is gonna take me a second. Let's see where my other little red dot is. I cannot see for it for my life right now. And unlike normal times, I can't just sort of slide the stencil around to make it match. And I am pretty darn close there. If this becomes a problem, I'll know later. All right, so we're gonna move on to the next layer. So I did the background of the arm in rose gold. So I'm gonna do the front of the arm in regular gold. How spiffy of me. Or this is actually a highlight, a lighter part, because the next layer is gonna be kind of all one color. So let's take a little bit of this gold. Let's work on the arms here. And really, you can see because I'm working with a small stencil, I'm cutting small pieces because I don't want to do what I did up here, which is release the red everywhere that I didn't want it. I dropped it on the floor. So the first thing I'm going to do is put a little piece right there. Oh my gosh, that released so easily on the foil adhesive. I just pulled my finger off and it was already almost 100% released. So there's that. And let's go in here with this into the detail. Get up into this corner. There we go, nice gold release. Take another little piece and we're gonna put it right there. And you might wonder why I don't just put gold all over the whole thing. It's because this is gonna be silver, and then we have a different color in the collar, we have some hair. So I have to kind of cover a bunch of different spaces in different colors. And that's, you know, how it is we're actually painting. We're creating a full image with foil and a stencil. Not just a solid or a pattern. We're creating an actual image here. This is going to take a little while. And, you know, I don't know, like I said, I keep saying this, but it's because it's true. I just don't know how this is going to come out. We'll find out. Yes, I tore that with my teeth. My dentist loves me for that. Pull that off there. And then we're going to go in here. And let's see, let's go in here. And I will take a break in a few minutes and look up and see what everybody's questions are, if I can answer them, and then we'll come back. But this is going to take a few seconds, so I'm going to do this microphone, and I've got all kinds of silvers to do it in, so I think we're going to have some fun and do the thin part here in the shattered glass. I mean, look at what a cool pattern that's going to be for this. Ugh. Take a little piece, and again, really small pieces, and I'll just take whatever's left and put it in my scrap bin and use it for small spots. All right. I want to tape everything back up so I don't have rolls flying everywhere. And then I'm going to take this and cut it a little smaller. Because I really just don't need a lot. Just that little bit right there. Now this is going to be tough because I have all of these little pinholes in here. So I got to find First I got to scrub this on, and then I got to go work in the pinholes. All right, I can feel them. And it's releasing nicely in the lines, but these pinhole spots are very small, and they're gonna require a little extra work because this is the face of the microphone. I know it's a little hard for you all to know what this image is gonna look like. I've been looking at it for years, so I have a better idea. And I just gotta get in here. But it's basically the image of like a 40s style woman in front of, holding onto a microphone like she was going to sing. Very cute, very vintagey looking. Love this stencil. Can't believe it's taken me this many years to use it. I think I bought it because I just liked it, but I had an idea for a furniture piece and then I never did it. So I'm just taking these and pushing them in the holes so I release a little foil in different spots. And I do actually have to make myself remember to move the foil around in my hand because I'm taking off foil from the back and I'm not looking to see where I'm taking it off. Hi Rhonda, hi Rima, nice to see everybody here. All right, and of course, maybe place things so your arms don't stick to the foil adhesive. But again, like I said, I'm really doing this for the very first time. So it will be flawed, it will be imperfect. I don't think all of you want to sit here and watch me shove my pencil through holes. So we're gonna try to get as much of this taken care of as possible. And then we're just gonna wing it. Okay, I got that in there. Everywhere. Come on, get in there. That piece right there, that little line right there does not want to take the foil. Maybe my fingernail will get in there. It's a narrow little line. And unfortunately, that one is an important one. I can skip a couple dots, but I can't skip a big line because it's part of the detail of how this thing is going to look in the end. Alrighty, look at that go. Ah, we're getting there. I'm getting the majority of the dots filled in. I might skip a few, oh well, we'll survive. Now, if I wanted to, I could have done these dots in a dark color and gone really light, but I wanted to do something a little on the opposites. And we're going light colored because I want these to look like highlights, not hidden details. And I am just working these into the little holes. And I think we're good there. So now I'm going to take this and work it into the line. And it's going to just have a very subtle but glittery final look to it. So we got that all filled in. All right, I have to figure out, let's see, we'll take a different silver pattern. We've got this gorgeous waterfall that I haven't used for anything for a while. We're going to take a little piece of that. Look at that pretty pattern. Okay, as soon as I do this layer, I'm going to flip the camera up and read questions, and then we'll go back and do the last and final layer, and then fill in the background, and we can see what we think. All right, so I'm going to put that on here for her collar. Let's see. Yep, I'm going to need to get that stencil brush in there. Oops, there we go. I even have like stencil brushes like this that I've used so many times it's kind of shoved the bristles down in and made them shorter, but it's very, very soft. So be aware when you're doing this, you're getting some really soft brushes this way. If you need a stiffer brush, you're gonna have to figure that one out on your own. All right. Let's see, get these shapes in here. You can see I'm feeling this with my fingers to get all of the shapes in. And I think I got all of that. Yeah, I got all of it. And I have this little bit of design right here. And I think I may just take a little red, go back into that with the red. Although I need to get up in here in these details with my fingernail. And let's make sure we get all of those details. I'm not even worrying about the direction because some of this is going to be so small it's going to be almost unable to be seen. Let's go in here with the red again. And I'm doing this one because these are very narrow, so I'm just going in with my fingernail and feeling them. Let's see what I can get here. And this is what takes the most time, is going in and dealing with the details. But again, if you were just painting something, you were doing a portrait, you'd be working on it a lot longer than I'm working on this. Oh, and I got some details here and here that I almost missed. And so you can see on the back how it's taking all of those little spots and bits and pieces out. So that will highlight what the next layer is going to be. But we're going to go over here and we got to get this one. And let's see, get that in there. All of the little spots so that when we put the next layer over it, it makes sense. Okie dokie. I know this is very tiny work for you all to be watching me doing, so that kind of kills some of the thrill. Okay, so I think I have to do the hair. And I don't know what to do with the hair. We could have some fun and start going with weird colors. So let's do a little copper on this. A little oil, a little bit of this copper slade color. Oh Lord, where did my scissors go? They're buried in tiny scraps of foil adhesive over here. Hi Donna, nice to see you. Okay, again, I'm just cutting these little tiny pieces because I'm only covering little tiny surfaces. So look, here we go. Excuse me, I'm just cannot seem to get my throat cleared today. My coffee is over to the side, I need a sip. On top of everything else going on, it's allergy season. And if you have allergies, you know what I'm talking about. You know that a good allergy sneeze can clear an aisle right now. Okay, that's going in very nicely. You can do this with a popsicle stick, the end of toothbrushes, you know, the end of a paintbrush like I'm doing. You can use just about any tool that you can get your hands on to burnish the foil into small openings. And that's the hardest part with this. You know, if I had to do this in a large production, this would make me cuckoo. But we're doing something small here with this. Okay, so here we go. We now have that done. The last thing to do is the face, if I can get it unstuck. So here we go. I'm just gonna put that piece right over the whole thing there. And rubbing it with my finger first to get it all put in. And I'm gonna take my toothbrush. And I can already see, which you can't easily see, under here, I can see it is not grabbing where I have already applied foil, and the face will be right there. And I don't know if you can all see that. There you go. You can see the face caught into there. You see, I love that. I think that's super cool. So we've already created an image, and it released the facial image. I love seeing that. That tells me how well my foil's released. It tells me I got everything laid in the way I want to, even if I'm looking at it with a glare. I love it. So I've got all of that laid in now. We're gonna pick this up. Pull this back. Try not to rip the stencil. And you can see I've got the image stenciled in there, and that in itself is just beyond cool. All right, so now here we have the final piece, this would be originally number 1. We're using it as number 3. Why? Because we're doing it in reverse. Now I have to find my little red dot here to lay this in. And this should give me, if I can keep it from sticking onto the surface, which is the hardest part, because this one, now some of these layers can get a little bit fragile. All right, come on, Maury. There's your red dot. I knew I'd find it. And I gotta put it in here. I gotta make sure I got my other one. Where's my other one? There's the other one is, come on, I know you're in there. I just gotta find you. It's so tiny, it's really hard to find. All right, I know I'm a little low. Forgive me, folks, I'm gonna have to turn this around and do this in a way that I can see the dot, whether or not you can. I need to catch the light a little bit. Turn this over that way, because my light has a bad habit of turning itself down, as in it angles itself down. All right, let's pull this up. How should it be? Of course, now I lost that dot. Let's see if I can do this the smart way. Here's this. This is the hard part of any of these jobs, is getting the dots lined up. And when they're super tiny like this, folks, it's just never all that easy. There's that one. For whatever reason, this one lines up really easily for me, and the other one doesn't want to. And part of it is I know that I'm not getting this set on here the right way. And let's see, there we go. Now it's laying out just right. Come on, let it go. There we go, let's do this. Let's get it all laid in the way it's supposed to be, so it lays nice and smooth, which it's fighting me on right now because I picked it up and flopped it around so many times. There we go. And see, I got a little pucker happening here, and it's because I haven't laid it out just right in one spot, and it's gonna fight me. There we go. So now you can see I've got the whole thing laid in, and this is so cool. I have more patience. It takes patience. I'm not gonna lie. This is gonna take a little patience for you. And I'm doing this the very first time, so if it's bad, it's gonna be really bad. So now the idea here is I could block in different colors, which I probably will do for at least part of this. But now I've got to figure out, okay, I got all of this, and then there's her hair, and there's her body. So what am I going to do for the dress? Let's see. Let's pick out something I haven't done. Ooh. maybe we'll do that for the oil slick. Shall we do her in cheetah? I think we'll do her in a little, or leopard. Let's do her in a little bit of leopard. I got all kinds of prints there. Was that, you like the leopard? Everybody like leopard? Let's do this. Let's do this with leopard. Let's really, oh, that's from the silver. Sorry, I'm pulling the tape off my hands. I'm like, what the heck did I put the tape there for? Which roll was that from? It's from that one. So maybe I want to pull that back. I had hoped to be doing 2 of these with you guys today, but it's, since I'm learning this as I go along, I'm also learning how much time this is going to take. So I'm not sure we're going to have enough time for 2 of these. I know I said I was going to flip up the camera, but I got so excited about what I was doing that I think I'll finish it, then flip it up. Sorry, dropping things on the floor. Got to pick them up. So let's take a little bit of this. Holy guacamole, I'm dropping stuff everywhere. All right, let's get this. So I've got a little leopard. We're going to do some gold leopard for the outfit. And you know, as I put this here, I'm seeing that it's probably going to be a little too close to this. So that's bad choice. And that's part of figuring this stuff out. So let's go a little crazier. I don't usually use, there's another one I haven't used in a while, Nova Galaxy. So let's have some fun with Nova Galaxy and see where that takes us. Like I said, figuring this out as we go along. And if I don't like the way something looks, I change it mid-stride, no issues. That's gonna be good. I know normally I'm not quite so cautious with my placement, but I also know I have a hairline there to deal with. So I just want to scrub this all in on this side. Oh yeah, look how cool that is. Oh, that was a good choice and it looks great. I'm so excited when it works out, right? Thank you, Renee, for this idea. It's a little more time consuming than I expected. I thought I would be able to just whiz through it because I think I can just whiz through anything all the time. That's not a lie there. I kind of tend to think I can just kind of speed through stuff. And then I discover, no more, you can't. You have to actually do something else. Okay, I'm just gonna push it up to, I was trying to avoid getting it in the hairline, so I didn't do that very well there, but I'll figure it out. That is so cool. Holy crap, I like that so much. That really comes out nicely there. So now I've got this in here. That's the arm. I'm gonna come down this side, I think. The way I wanna do that, I'm actually looking at stuff. This is forcing me to think exactly how things might be placed. So I've got that done there. I need a little bit. I've got pewter color, so I'm gonna do the mic and pewter, and then we're gonna pick a color for the hair. And it might be a crazy color because I can do that. We'll be at the last one. This one is pewter, so it'll read very well against the shattered ice or shattered glass foil that I put on the microphone before. And then I'll just let it fill in. I gotta get this in the right way. Being careful, because I still have the rest of this arm to deal with, and I know what I'm doing with that. I just gotta get this in. So we got that to scrub in a little bit right there. And part of what these loops are the coils for the microphone wire. Oh yeah, that came out perfectly. And again, you may not see it too well there, but it's there. And then I gotta put this up in here. Boy, is this releasing really nicely. Look how good that is. Oh yeah, that's good. I have, oh, I told you I really planned, but I don't know. I was gonna make that arm a little more hyper realistic, but why would I do that? Because that's just making things too simple. So now I'm gonna go with this Galaxy Gold foil that I happen to have a little sample of. And we're gonna go in here. We gotta finish off that arm. And I know I'm ignoring your comments and your questions. I promise you, I'm really not ignoring you. I'm just wanting to get this completed so we can see. Oh God, that's so cool. I get so excited when things get interesting. I just want to put a little bit down in here in these little tiny highlight spots. If I wanted to, I could even come in with a little bit there where I missed before. So the last thing to put in is the hair. And I think we're gonna do this, which is our copper bark, or sorry, pewter bark. I don't know where I got copper bark from, but it's pewter bark. Again, taking a little piece, just about as much as I need to cover the head. If it would stop rolling on me, I'm just gonna tear it. If I need more, I'll cut more. So I'm gonna put this on. I could put it on this way so you got hair direction, or I could put it on the other way so I had better coverage. But since I'm all about hair, we're gonna put it in the right direction. And honest to God, I'm picking these colors out as I go, as I'm looking. I had no plan for this, so if the colors look like crap together, you completely can blame me on that. But dang, that's cool. Holy guacamole, that's so cool. I know I'm saying silly things like holy guacamole, but it keeps me from cursing. The real nasty words that generally fly out of my mouth when I'm trying to figure stuff out. So look at that, we've got that whole portrait there. And now that I can pick it up and show you the light, maybe not have foils stick to the board, throw that way. We're gonna pull that out. Now look at how cool that came out. Look at that. Oh, I love that. That is just the coolest thing. Now, obviously, I've still got sticky board, so I have to do something here. I could put a solid foil on here. I could just top coat the whole thing. But I think, because I want to make this thing really pop, we're just going to stick some blue in the background. Yes, and I know I've got all these other little dibs and dabs of stuff here. I'll trim it off when I use it for a sample. But for now, I'm just gonna take this, I'm gonna lay it over. I'm gonna lay it all the way over the surface. I'm gonna trim it, and then we're gonna brush it. I didn't get a 100% smooth layout on here, obviously. Normally I would have done a better job, but I'm doing it on camera, so if it's gonna be done on camera, I'm gonna find a way to do it so that it doesn't look as good as if I'm doing it by myself and nobody was seeing it. Quite frankly, that's really the truth. Every time I do things like this by myself, nobody sees me doing them, they come out perfectly. I do them on camera, I make a mess. Okay. And there will be a big spot in the center where the adhesive does not grab because we already have a stencil and a pattern laid down on there. So I love this blue pebble foil. It's one of my favorites. use it a lot. It makes me happy. All right, so let's pull this back and see how it releases. Oh, the release with this foil is so good. My application of foil adhesive, could have been better near the edges. I very quickly applied stuff, and it doesn't always, I was doing it to get ready for the live, so I didn't really do a great job of getting this to all the edges. That's absolutely on me. Yeah, this was not one of my best jobs of applying foil adhesive on a surface, I'm going to tell you guys. But you can see, look how cool that came out. Oh my God. I'm looking at it in the camera and it just looks so cool. Now, what I'll do, because I've done such a crappy job of putting foil adhesive everywhere else, but at least I managed to get it well in the center. I will trim this. And I might even put that in a frame because that came out so cool. Renee, big thank you for giving me this idea. All right, I'm gonna put the camera up. I'm gonna scroll up for a few minutes. Gotta get the camera propped up. All right, let's see if I've missed questions. Yeah, Rhonda, it was definitely a patience thing. It's so nice to see everybody here. Thank you for watching. Thanks, Betty. It was a cool idea, and I completely give the credit for the idea to this to Renee Holder. She was the one who showed me a photo. I think hers, she's doing more personalized stencils. This is just what I happen to have in the studio. Oh, I love how this, and by the way, everybody, sprinkle, sprinkle, sprinkle. Helps Jennifer, helps me, helps all of you. Sprinkle the video. If you don't know what sprinkle means, it is the new S word we're allowed to use on Facebook to distribute videos to other groups and pages and stuff like that. We can't use the original one because Facebook doesn't like it. I am just scrolling back. Gigi, yeah, if you missed the beginning, it's not, again, we're not doing anything complicated. This was very simple, but look how impactful it is. And it just takes a little patience. But I mean, honestly, we're kind of all on lockdown now. So look what you could create. That's so cool. And you saw every mistake I made. You saw every flaw in the application, and still it came out cool. All right, I'm going to scroll back a few more. Linda, it is a very cool thing to work with. The foils are awesome. They're easy. The stencil, I'm sorry, it says Zanet, not Janet. The stencil is from Stencil Library. It's a Helen Morris design. So definitely look at her stencils for something like this. And it was great to see everybody. So I'm scrolling back. I haven't missed too many questions. Thank you, everybody. Enjoy it. Great stencils, great foils, great adhesive. Really fun project. I'm glad we did this. And this came out looking kind of like a Hawaiian shirt, so I really like that. All right, everybody. I have a virtual cocktail party to go to. I have never thought I'd say that in my life, but I actually do. And it's almost 5 o'clock, and you've sat with me for a good hour. So thank you, everybody, for being a part of this, and have a great weekend. Bye-bye.